This tutorial provides an overview of Microsoft Windows 10 and its new features. This tutorial covers using Windows 10 with a keyboard and mouse. When finished, I will link to a tutorial showing how to use Windows 10 on a touch device like the Microsoft Surface. Start menu. The Start menu is back. The Start menu has been part of Windows from Windows 95 all the way up to Windows 7. When Windows 8 was introduced, it removed the Start menu completely. It replaced the Start menu with the Start screen. Users complained so much that Microsoft returned the Start button, but not the functionality. Microsoft has learned its lesson with Windows 10, and the Start menu is back. The Windows 10 Start menu is a hybrid of the Windows 7 Start menu and the Windows 8 Start screen. On the left, we have a Windows 7 style Start menu. The middle section shows the most used and any recently installed apps. To show all the apps installed on the system, select the All Apps button. All installed apps show in the list in alphabetical order. There is a scroll bar on the right of the list to scroll through the apps. If we scroll down under the W's, we will see some of the entries have arrows to their right. These are folders that contain additional apps that will expand when selected, like the Windows accessories. To return to the default Start menu, we'll select the Back button. We can select File Explorer to open the app to browse through the files and folders on this computer. If we select the right arrow, we will see the File Explorer call-up menu. Here we have some pinned file folder shortcuts for the desktop, downloads, documents, and pictures. We can add or remove whatever folders we want from this jump list. To remove one of the items from the list, select the Unpin from this list button to the right of each item. At the bottom of the jump list, we have frequent folders, such as music and videos. This list will dynamically change, showing the folders you most commonly open. Selecting any of the folders in this list will open the File Explorer directly to this folder. Settings. The Settings app is a more simplified, easy-to-use version of the old Windows control panel. Microsoft is gradually moving as many settings as possible to the new interface, so there is a single user experience across desktops, laptops, tablets, and phones. If you prefer to use the old control panel, or need a feature not available in the new Settings app, it is still available through the Quick Access menu. Right-click on the Start button, and select Control Panel. Let's close out of the Control Panel. Open back up the Start menu. Settings. Select Settings from the Start menu. The Settings app is a more simplified, easy-to-use version of the old Windows control panel. Microsoft is gradually moving as many settings as possible to the new interface, so there's a single user experience across desktops, laptops, tablets, and phones. If you prefer to use the old control panel, or need a feature not available in the new Settings app, it is still available through the Quick Access menu. Right-click on the Start button, and select Control Panel. Let's close out of the control panel. From here we can make changes to the network and internet connections, personalize the background image and colors with personalization, set up Bluetooth devices, printers, and mice with devices, and make changes to the user accounts with accounts. We will cover the various functions of the Settings app in later tutorials in more detail and link to them here. Close out of the Settings app. Power. Selecting the power option will open a callout showing the available power options. From here we can shut down the computer or restart it. Some devices may have other options like sleep and hibernate. At the top is the name of the currently logged in account. If we right-click on the account name, we will get a menu with several options. At the bottom we can select Sign Out to log out of the current account and log in using a different account. In the center, we can select Lock to lock the computer with this user logged in. Nobody would be able to use the computer without putting in a password for this account or another account on this computer. At the top we can select Change Account Settings. This opens the Settings app on the account screen. From here we can manage our account, connect to work or school network resources, and manage sync settings. Let's close out of the Change Account Settings window and open back up the Start menu. The right side of the Start menu has a Windows 8 style start screen with dynamic tiles. Tiles are representations of apps, like we saw in the All Apps section of the left side of the keyboard. All app tiles on the right side of the Start menu also show up on the left side under All Apps. Unlike the icons for apps on the left side of the keyboard, these are live tiles that dynamically change the information they show. Apps that are set up to use live tiles can show us app information without having to open the app. The apps that can use live tiles are called Windows 10 Universal Apps. We will cover these in depth more later. The News app is showing a slideshow of the latest current news stories, and the Weather app is showing the current weather conditions. Some of the tiles currently just show the name of the app, like Calendar and Mail. After these apps are set up and used, they will begin showing new constantly updating information. These tiles can be rearranged by selecting and holding on the tile, and then dragging it around the menu. As we add or resize dynamic tiles, it will increase or decrease the size of the Start menu dynamically. The tiles come in 4 available size options. As we can see on the Start menu, the 4 available options are Small, Medium, Wide, and Large. Let's right-click on the News app tile to review this and other options. Resize. Selecting Resize from the menu will open a flyout menu to select the size. Unpin from Start. Selecting this option will remove the live tile from the Start menu. It can be added back again by selecting All Apps, finding the app in the list, and then dragging it and dropping it back. Turn live tile off. Selecting this option will turn off the real-time updating of information in the tile. Pin to taskbar. Selecting this option would attach the News app to the taskbar for quick access, like the Edge browser and Microsoft Store. Uninstall. Selecting Uninstall will allow us to completely remove the app from this computer. Any apps you uninstall can be reinstalled in the Windows Store. If you do uninstall a built-in app like News, you can get a complete list of the pre-installed apps by searching for Microsoft Corporation. Selecting in any of the blank space on the Start menu will exit the menu without making any changes. We have the option to change the size of the Start menu. If we hover the mouse over the top edge of the Start menu, the mouse icon will change to a double-sided vertical arrow. Click and hold, and drag up and down to change the size. It can be increased to this size at the maximum, and this size as the minimum. If you are someone who fell in love with the Start screen that replaced the Start menu in Windows 8, it can be turned back on through the taskbar properties. Windows 10 Universal Apps. Windows 10 Universal Apps is the new name for what Microsoft previously referred to as Metro Apps, Modern Apps, Windows Store Apps, and Windows 8 apps, among others. Unlike the traditional Windows applications that only run on the Windows desktop, Windows 10 Universal Apps will run on all Windows 10 devices, including Windows Desktop, Laptop, Windows Phone, Tablet, and the Xbox One. With traditional Windows applications, we would typically go to a web page and download an application and then install it. To simplify things with Universal Apps, we would install and uninstall through the Microsoft Store. Let's open a Universal app like Calculator by selecting the Start button, All Apps, Calculator. It opens full screen by default in a window. Unlike the Universal Apps in Windows 8, Windows 10 Universal Apps have controls in the top right just like traditional Windows applications. Close. The X in the top right of the window will close the app. Minimize. The left button will minimize the app to the taskbar. The app will still be running and can be restored to the previous state by selecting it from the taskbar. Restore. The middle button is used to restore the app to a size that does not take up the entire screen. Select the Restore button. We can see the Calculator app has reduced its size to a small window that is easier to work with. We can now work with Windows 10 Universal Apps, just like traditional applications. And best of all, Calculator doesn't need to be full screen. Most Windows 10 Universal Apps have a menu of available options located in the top left of the screen. Let's select the X in the top right of the window to exit the app. Taskbar. Let's review the Windows 10 taskbar. The taskbar runs along the bottom of the Windows desktop and includes everything from the Start button on the left to the clock on the right. Cortana. Just to the right of the Start menu is Cortana. Cortana is an intelligent digital assistant. Cortana is Microsoft's answer to Google Now and Siri. Cortana gets its name from the Microsoft Xbox video game franchise Halo that contains a female, artificially intelligent character by the same name. Cortana is able to recognize natural spoken language and provide assistance. Cortana can search the web, search your computer, help with calling and texting, calendars and reminders, note-taking, alarms, maps and directions, local business questions, weather and flight information, weight, measure, and currency conversions, stock and finance, and much, much more. Cortana monitors what you do over time, and as she learns, she'll provide more useful assistance and advice. We can access Cortana using our voice if we have a microphone attached to the computer. To use voice search with Cortana, select the microphone button to the right of the text entry field, or say, "Hey Cortana." To use the keyboard to interact with Cortana, select inside the text entry field where it says, "Ask me anything." The default screen will fill with informational cards containing things like news and weather information. The cards that show up in this feed can be modified on the Notebook tab. Selecting the down arrow at the bottom of a card like the weather card here. We'll expand the size of the card to show more detailed information like the weather for the next 5 days. The top right of each tile has a menu button represented by 3 dots. Let's ask Cortana some questions to get a feel for her capabilities. Select inside the text entry field again where it says Ask Me Anything. Cortana can provide information about local businesses. We'll type, Show me Chinese restaurants nearby. Some questions like this will be answered by searching the web with the new Microsoft Edge browser. With Windows 10, Microsoft has replaced the default web browser included with Windows. Previously, the default web browser since Windows 95 was Internet Explorer. After 20 years, Internet Explorer was growing a little long in the tooth. Microsoft developed the new Edge browser with speed and modern technologies in mind. As we can see in this example, Cortana searches Bing and provides detailed reviews from Yelp and a local map showing each location. Hovering over any of the restaurants listed in the reviews will highlight their location on the map. Cortana can provide reminders based on time, date, or location. We could enter commands like remind me to buy gas when I leave work, remind me to put out the trash when I get home, or the next time I'm at the grocery store, remind me to buy milk. As an example, let's enter the command, remind me at 6 p.m. to watch the local news. This will open the Reminder Settings window. We can customize the reminder text, the date, the time, and the frequency for the reminder to occur. If everything is entered correctly, select Remind. To review the reminder we just created, select Reminders from the Cortana menu in the top left of the app. By default, it shows all of the reminders. We can also show the reminders sorted by time, place, or person. To return back to the default Cortana screen, select Home from the menu. Some questions will be answered directly within Cortana, like math problems and weight and measure conversions. Let's enter 365 times 24 times 60 to calculate how many minutes are in a year. To enter another search term, we can either close the Cortana app and reopen it, or select and delete the text. Let's enter how many kilometers in a mile. At launch, there are hundreds of useful commands available, with new ones being included continuously by Microsoft. For a more complete list of commands, we can search Bing for Cortana commands. Currently, the best list is the first search result at techranker.net. Task View Virtual Desktops. Task View is a new feature in Windows 10. that is like virtual desktops that are available in other operating systems. Previously, all applications you open would open on the same desktop. If you're working and playing on the same computer, things can get cluttered. TaskView allows you to create multiple virtual desktops, each with their own open applications. You could have one virtual desktop running your business applications like Word and Excel, and have another virtual desktop running Facebook and Twitter. This makes it easier to separate the two types of use for your computer, while allowing you to pick right back up where you left off. The TaskView button is located on the taskbar, just to the right of Cortana. So that we're able to see the difference in desktops, let's make sure that several apps are open. We can tell that the apps are open by the blue line underneath them. The File Explorer app is pinned to the taskbar, but it is not running. Select the TaskView button. The two open apps are displayed side by side to easily determine what is happening on this desktop. We currently only have the single desktop open, so we only have the option of New Desktop. Select the New Desktop button. We now have the original desktop tile open on the left, the new second desktop tile in the center, and a link on the right to add a new desktop. Let's open the new desktop by selecting Desktop 2. For comparison purposes, let's select and open the Calculator app from the Start menu. Select the TaskView button again to review the virtual desktops. We can see the currently selected desktop is highlighted with a preview of the content above. There is a small preview of the desktop content in the tile. If we hover the mouse over either of the virtual desktops, we'll see a preview of all the open apps running on that virtual desktop. To quickly move between the two desktops, select the TaskView button and then the virtual desktop. This is a great feature to increase productivity and separate tasks. We can close any of the open virtual desktops by selecting the X in the top right of the desktop preview tile. We currently have two apps open in the first desktop and one app in the second desktop. If we close out of the second desktop, it does not just close out of the apps that you had on that desktop. It will move them to the first desktop. We can now see that we have all three of our apps open on Desktop 1. Select any of the apps to bring it to the foreground to work on. Close the Calculator app by clicking on the X in the top right of the corner of the window. File Explorer. File Explorer is a file management application for Microsoft Windows. File Explorer provides a way to browse and interact with your files. Select the File Explorer item on the taskbar. File Explorer opens to a new layout. The default view has Quick Access selected on the left, which shows the frequent folders and the recent files on the right. The Quick Access items include links to the desktop, downloads, documents, pictures, music, and videos. Some of the items in the Quick Access list will always show in the list because they are pinned. Pinned items have a gray pushpin icon next to them. We can see that currently desktop, downloads, documents, and pictures are pinned to the Quick Access list. The unpinned folders will change as you use Windows to show that folders you most commonly access. Currently it just shows the defaults for music and videos. Let's pin a new folder to the Quick Access menu. For testing, we will expand this PC and select Local Disk C. Let's say we wanted to add the user's folder. Right-click and select Pin to Quick Access. Let's move back to the default screen by selecting the Quick Access menu. We can now see our new folder, Users, listed in the Quick Access menu. To remove an item from Quick Access, we need to right-click and select Unpin from Quick Access. OneDrive. OneDrive is free online storage from Microsoft that comes as part of every Microsoft account. Microsoft says it's like an extra hard drive that is available from every device and is safer than using USB flash drives. OneDrive is integrated directly into Windows 10. OneDrive comes with 15 gigabytes of online storage for free accounts. OneDrive shows in File Explorer for quick access to files stored in the cloud. Copy your important files here, and they will be available on all your Windows devices. This PC. Selecting this PC shows the quick access folders at the top and expandable links to the hard drive and CD/DVD drive below. Network. Selecting network will show computers connected to the same network as this computer. Currently there are none. File Explorer now has built-in share capabilities. If needed, scroll up on the left and select Documents in the Quick Access list. For testing, I will use this test text-document.txt file that I created by selecting it so that it is highlighted in blue. More than one file can be shared at a time by selecting multiple files. Selecting the Share link on the menu will open the detailed Share ribbon menu. We have options here to email the file, zip the file to compress it and make it smaller to save space, as well as burn to disk, like a recordable DVD, or print or fax to an installed device. Windows 10 adds a Share button on the left side of the Share ribbon menu. This Share button allows you to share a selected item using a compatible Windows 10 Universal app. Selecting the Share button will open a panel on the right side of the screen showing the item to be shared and the compatible apps. This is the same as the Share functionality in Windows 8 with the Charms bar. The only app we have that is supported and set up is the Mail app. If we had other compatible apps capable of sharing, we would see those listed below, like Facebook or Twitter. Select Mail or another sharing option of your choosing. The Mail app will open to the right side panel. The Mail app has been greatly improved since Windows 8. Select in the body under the attachment. There is a new ribbon interface at the top with format settings like bolding, underlining, and other font formatting, as well as paragraph formatting options. The Insert tab allows us to attach additional files, as well as insert tables, pictures, and links. If we decide we didn't want to send one of the attachments, they can be removed individually by selecting the X at the top right of the attachment. Enter a recipient for the email, and select the Send button. If we decide that we really don't want to share this file, we can select the Discard button to exit without sending. Notification area. The notification area is located on the right side of the Windows taskbar. The notification area contains app icons that provide notification and status information. The notification area is also known as the system tray. Left-clicking an icon will open the notification window for the app. Right-clicking will open a menu with additional options. The notification area includes things like volume, network settings, and battery power level. If there are too many icons to fit in the notification area, select the up arrow to show hidden icons. Some apps appear in the system tray to show that they are running in the background and are not completely closed. At the far right side of the notification area is the Action Center. Select the icon to open the Action Center. The top of the Action Center contains notifications from Windows and installed apps. Some notifications will include updates being installed, new mail, or security and maintenance issues. Selecting a notification will open the corresponding app or system window. Selecting the X on the right side of a notification will remove it from the Action Center. The bottom of the Action Center contains quick launch icons. Some launch new windows like VPN and all settings. Others are enabled by touching them, which turns them blue to enable them, like location, quiet hours, and airplane mode. Just to the right of the notification area is the clock. Select the clock to open the window. The clock shows the current date and time at the top, with a calendar of the current month at the bottom. This calendar is for reference, like to check the day of the week a particular date falls on. If you want to change the date or time, you would select Date and Time Settings. We can change the month by selecting the up and down arrows to the right of the month. Selecting outside the clock app will close it. Show Desktop. To test this option, make sure there are some apps open. To the right of the clock, there's a small space on the taskbar. Selecting this will temporarily minimize all open windows at the same time. This is useful to be able to quickly find items on the desktop, and then return back to what you are working on. Selecting the far right of the taskbar again will restore all the windows to their previous locations. Snap Assist. Snap Assist helps snap windows to the screen for easier multitasking. If we want to be able to see all three of our windows at the same time, we could move each window around manually. Snap Assist allows us to snap up to 4 windows on the same screen quickly and easily. To start, Select and hold the title bar down on one of the windows. Then drag the window to the middle of either the left or right side of the screen. When the window touches the side of the screen, you will see a gray outline where the window will snap when we release the mouse. Touching the middle like we have here will result in the window snapping to the left half of the screen. We can also touch the window to the corners instead to snap the window to one quarter of the screen. Let's move it back to the middle to snap it to the left side of the screen. Upon releasing the window, it will snap to the side of the screen and show the remaining windows on the other side. Here we can see the two remaining apps we had open. Selecting either one of these windows will snap it to fill the space. Windows 8 allowed us to have two windows snapped like this. Windows 10 adds the ability to have up to 4 windows open. If we want to have two apps open on the right side of the screen, we need to select and hold the title bar. Dragging the window to the top right of the screen, we can see a gray outline showing where the window will snap. We can take the remaining window and snap it to the bottom by selecting it. Some apps might not be able to operate in one-quarter screen mode. We can have one of the windows take up the entire screen by selecting the Maximize button, as we're used to. Or we can drag the window to the top of the window and release to snap to full screen. Thanks to the great new leadership of Satya Nadella, Microsoft definitely seems to be moving in the right direction with Windows 10. Thank you for joining me on this tutorial. If you like the content, please support me by subscribing to JAG Tutorials.